Okay guys, currently we are at flight level 280. Why we are at flight level 280? Because RVSM airspace and the main definition is reduce vertical separation minima airspace started above flight level 290, and I will try to explain it to you in the simplest way as possible. So that means that RVSM airspace is not all over the Europe or cover all of the Europe, neither all of the globe. It's in some certain areas which RVSM airspace are applied. And what are RVSM airspace? That means that the vertical separation minima between inbound and outbound traffic, for example the traffic which is coming from the west to east, should have, for example, flight level 390, and traffic coming from the east to west should have flight level 380. So that's mean that RVSM airspace, let's say the separation minima between two airplanes are really close enough. It's only 1000 feet, so that means approximately 300 meters, and believe me, in real life, when you see the airplane, it's coming to you and you see the airplane on a TCAS, and you know from TCAS that the airplane is 1000 feet below or above. You feel like you are going to crash each another, so it's strange and very strange feeling. In order to fly to the RVSM airspace, you need to fulfill some requirements, because it does none of the airplanes can fly into this airspace. Okay, just for information, the equipment, according to minimum equipment list from EASA, requires 2 independent altitude measurement systems, each equipped with cross-static source systems with ice protection. Why with ice protection? Because if you suddenly froze your static airport, that means that you lose one altimeter source, and that's a problem. Okay, then you have to display this computed pressure altitude to flight crew. That means that we have 2 altimeters on board, and these altimeters, if we are going deep into the details, should have static error correction, but we are really going now deeply into the discussion. We should have TCAS on board, and we should have altitude alerting system and automatic altitude controller system. So what is automatic altitude control system? That means that we have at least one autopilot flight directors which keeps the altitude for us. And what is the alerting system? The alerting system is, for example, as you can see, we are below RVSM airspace, and now we can enter the RVSM airspace. So we put flight level 290 and we put it via vertical speed, just like now, in order to start the airplane on within the climb, and you hear the sound. That means that you deviate from your basic altitude, that means that something happens. Okay, your altitude changes. This is the beep sound on the Boeing, and this feature is always also Airbus systems. So these alerting systems you should have on board presented. For example, we are clear to climb level 390. Okay, so I put 390, 1000 feet. And you hear the beep sound, you hear that's the alerting systems that, hey, from flight level 290 you are deviating and you are climbing to flight level 300. And one of the requirement is that when you are coming to the RVSM airspace, between your captain and first officer, primary flight displays and altitude indicators, the indications must be within 200 feet or below. So, and what if I suddenly lose something? For example, my transponder is not working. Okay, we have two. We have one and we have two. Okay, ATC1, ATC2, but whole transponder is not working. So we need to check the phraseology, as you can see on the picture, and within the phraseology we need to tell the enable RVSM, and that means for air traffic controller that you should descend into flight level 280. Okay, so again, press the vertical speed and we are descending to flight level 280. And this means, for example, if you have wrong altimeters cross-check, so one is depicted at flight level 300 and one is depicted to flight level 298. Okay, so that means that there is the difference 200 feet, or you have let's say problems with your autopilot flight director systems, so you need to fly the airplane manually. And believe me, to fly the airplane manually without autopilot flight director systems for 3 hours, it's a really hard job, and you have to swap each other between pilot flying and pilot monitoring each 30 minutes because it's hard to keep the airplane altitude while you are cruising. So that's basic of the RVSM, and that's why always when we are entering RVSM we cross-checked the altimeters as well with the standby altimeter. We do it so. Additionally, we checked the probe is okay, and we checked that the autopilot flight director system it's working, and we have an additional procedure to have wing anti-ice off, because after flight level 290 you don't need it basically. So just to remind you, because if you have wing anti-ice approximately near flight level 350 or above, it possibly you can possibly lose your air conditioning pack. So this is the RVSM airspace, and it was quite a short video, and I hope you like this video. Leave me a comment below. Thank you very much. Bye bye.